Hi everybody, this is Harmony from Harmony Stitches and welcome back to my channel. I just want to thank you everyone, whether you're a returning subscriber or a new viewer. Thank you so much for coming and checking me out and spending some time visiting with me while I talk about my crafting journey. On this channel we talk about my crafts, which is mostly cross stitch at this time. But there's some knitting and every once in a while some crochet thrown in. So usually how it goes is I have a weekly WIP. This year it is Pandemic by Long Dog Samplers. And then I spin a wheel to find out which other WIP I'm going to work on throughout the week. And what I'll do is I'll take that to work with me to work on during my lunch break. And then sometimes I have surprise starts and other things going on. I will take knitting in the car with me. My husband drives us to grocery shopping and other things, so I will knit in the car. I did take September off, so if you watch the last couple of videos, you'll see that there is no knitting. I participated in summer sock camp with the Crazy Sock Lady. She's here on YouTube as the Crazy Sock Lady. Her name is Kay. And after that got done, I decided I was just going to take a break off knitting. So that's a brief recap of kind of the way that things go here. I do have some finishes to show you this week. I have 2 pieces ready for display. I didn't want to disappoint you yet again by not having the little Halloween piece done, so I did that. And then while I was up here gathering supplies to take, because I have to gather my supplies up here and haul them all downstairs because I don't have a table or anything in here to do crafting. Someday, of course, that is a dream, but we would have to figure out storage for all of the extra crafting supplies first. So I gather everything and take it with me downstairs, and as I was doing that, I glanced over and saw all of the pieces that I had already pulled to put something else together. And I realized very quickly why I had never put it together, but I figured it out and I got it. So we're gonna go ahead and start with those pieces ready for display. That's what I call them here on my channel. The first one I'm going to show you is Honeybee Sampling by Little House Needleworks. And here it is. I started this last year on July 31st, 2020. It was a birthday start for myself. And I have it on Dove Gray Monaco 28 count. I used the called for threads and I wrapped it with a piece of felt, as I do on a piece of cardboard, and then I wrapped a piece of cardboard with some fabric, and I actually used the pinky purple color to bring out the color in the flowers. And then I mounted it on this hexagon from the dollar store. I got this a year or so ago, and it's just been sitting here waiting. And the reason why it was waiting is because this is, see how deep this is? I needed something to hold it forward so that way it wasn't in the background. And I finally found something. I'm like, oh, I need something, and I just went walking through the house to see if I had anything that was ready to be thrown out into the recycling, and I found something. And so this is it, and I'm so happy. And now that I'm putting on the video, my husband can go ahead and hang it in the kitchen. So that's really exciting. So next up is the little Halloween piece. I really don't know what it's called. I don't know the designer, but of course I will link the things below. And also it's in the description box of the last several weeks. I don't know how to pronounce the designer's name, but of course I'm giving her or him credit by linking the Facebook and the Etsy shop. So here we go. And this is the little Halloween piece. It is on 28 count Dove Gray Monaco, just like the Honeybee Sampling, but this has been coffee tea dyed, so it looks more gray than it does blue. And I used mostly the called for. There's only 4 called for flosses in here. Is a white of, I can't remember what white is called for, but I used Blanc. An orange, but I used what I had in stash, and that's 608. The yellow is 972, and then just 310, all DMC. This is a little piece that my husband found at Dollar General, and this one fit perfectly. The other Halloween piece that I did, the one that I did first, was too big for this piece. And I guess it probably would have worked. It would have stretched across farther, but I like this one. And I did the same finishing technique I used on the Honeybee sampling. I cut a piece of cardboard, covered it in felt, wrapped it around, and then a piece of fabric around another piece of cardboard, and got my layers. I was actually contemplating not putting any fabric behind this one, but then I saw that I did have some yellow. I had a couple different shades, so actually first I was going to do orange, but it didn't look good with the orange floss in the piece. So then I found some 2 shades of yellow, and my daughter picked the darker, more golden one than the lighter, like sunshine one. And then this, if you can remember, was actually a little bit lower. And what I did is I just tightened the knots up and then cut the extra off. So that way it hung just where I wanted it. So I have 2 pieces ready for display. One for all seasons and one for Halloween. So that's pretty exciting. And I wanted to get that done this week because we only have, 3 weeks until Halloween. So I wanted to get that done. Okay, and then we'll start with WIPs. I'll start with knitting. So let's show you. Okay, so here we go. So before, it was tiny, and so I've gotten this much. This is lolodidit. It's called Muggle magazine. It's on the Loriginal base. And the colorway is Muggle magazine. It's from the Quotable Dumbledore Club that she did last year. This was the July colorway. And these are just my Teague needles that my husband got me for Christmas. They're interchangeables, and I think these are size 3. They're laser etched on here, but obviously I can't see them right now. Yeah, I don't know what needle. Oh, here we go. It's on there pretty good, but yes, size 3, 3.25 millimeter. So I have to check my gauge. This Musselburg hat is pretty cool because you can, she has a chart that shows you different gauges. So based on what your gauge is, you can still knit this hat. You can pick up a yarn, knit, what's your gauge, check it. Okay, that's how big or how many stitches or whatever that I need to do. So I'm at the point where I need to check my gauge and see what this is stitching at, because I have even though this is the same yarn base as the one that I made my husband, I had to go down a needle size because I was not liking the fabric that the size 4 was making, the size needle 4. So my gauge is a little bit different than that one, than the hat that I made him. And I might have to do some math in order to make it work, because before I had to rip it out and start over, my gauge was 8 stitches per inch instead of I think the chart starts at 7. So I just have to check that and see where I'm at, and then I get to knit round and round. So once I get to that point, then I just get to knit round and round, and it'll be easier. And I just kept messing up, like I couldn't keep track of it. Was I on an increased row or decreased row? And it has nothing to do with the pattern. The pattern is fine. I obviously knit it once before, so I know I can get through it, but I was having the toughest time that day. But I think I'm back on track. Okay, I do have, let's see, the WIP Wheel Spin from last week was Amazing Grace. This was a Janlynn kit from years ago. I've talked about it several times, so I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to show you my progress. Actually, it was not a WIP Wheel Spin from last week. I skipped the wheel because it was on the wheel from the previous week, and I had made I got so close to finishing. I made such good progress. I said, I'm just going to work on this until I get it done. And I got it done. So here we go. Amazing Grace, cross stitch kit by Janlynn. I had almost all of, I had to finish the notes on that middle staff, and that's all I had to do. Now, because of the back stitching, I do have a lot of ends to weave in the back, but I'm good with that. I will finish that when I go to frame this piece. You can't even really see them from the front, so I might get lazy and just try to smooth them down, but I'll see what I can do. But I'm so happy to have this done. There are mistakes in this. I was thinking about doing like a charity auction or something for this piece, or just plain giving it away. But my husband said, no, why would you do that? You stitched that for a reason, so just go ahead and keep it. Plus, then when I found out that I had so many mistakes in it, I'm like, yeah, that's probably not the best one to auction off for charity. So I will be keeping it, but I get to empty out this project bag now that I have it done and I've showed you. So that's good because I need it for my new starts. I said I was going to do new starts if I got that done. I got that done on Tuesday of this past week, and I didn't start anything until yesterday, Saturday the 9th. It's just been one of those weeks, but I still got to start something new. I still got to finish. I still got 2 pieces ready for display. So even though there was life challenges thrown in the mix, I still kept going. So this is actually a set of 2 that I kitted up together, Hello Pumpkin and Gobble from the Stitching with the Housewives. They're both in their little What's in My Cup series that they were doing earlier. They're both on 28 count Monaco and using a mix of the called for classic Colorworks floss and the DMC conversion provided on the chart. So I started Hello Pumpkin, and of course, because it's black, the camera wants to blow it out because that's just what happens. You can, trying to find a chart here that I can hold behind it. Sometimes it helps and sometimes it doesn't. So 28 count black Monaco, the orange 2 pumpkins. There's going to be a great big pumpkin coming out of the cup. That's using Classic Colorworks Pumpkin Harvest. I wanted to keep the variegation that was, to try to make the variegation that was shown in the chart. And then she had a blue pumpkin down there. And then I started the vines. So there's that one. I did not start Gobble yet, but I did start this one. And my goal is to get all of the stuff, because I stitch from the bottom up, to get all of the doodads down here done, so that way I can stitch the cup up, and then I can take this project with me to the stitch retreat, 1-day stitch retreat, or stitch day, or whatever it's called, on October 23rd. So that way I can just go up and down, and just do the cup and not really have to worry about much counting. So then I have the floss and the fabric set aside for Gobble, and I think I'll do the same thing, is do all of the bottom, because it has decorations around the cup. If I have enough room in my video, I will insert photos of what both of those cups look like. Sometimes the photos take up too much space and then I have to cut things from my video, and then you guys don't get all of the conversation that I have to share with you. But I will try. So I'll do all of the decoration part at the bottom of the cup, and then so that way I have the cup on both of these. And then during the 5-hour stitch time, stitch day, then maybe I can do some of the boring, not having to worry about counting so much stuff. So what I do is I take the little floss bags from Joann's, and when I kit something up, I'll put it in there, and then when I'm ready to stitch it, then I'll grab the floss bag and I'll grab the fabric and the pattern, and I'm good to go. So Gobble has all kinds of floss, but it shares some with Hello Pumpkin. So I actually had to grab my pumpkin harvest out of George Decorates with Martha, because for some reason I stole it and put it in there, and I'm like, no. I bought it for this pattern first, so it goes here, and then if there's any left over, then I'll use it for George Decorates for Martha. If there isn't any left over, I can always get more, but I bought it for this one, so it's gonna get used here first. All right. I'm sure that some of you, like I said last week, are just sick of hearing about it, sick of talking about it, sick of looking at it, and there's some of you that are really excited to get it done. I can relate to both of you, both groups of people. I'm sick of talking about it. I'm sick of looking at it. I'm certainly sick of stitching it, but it'll come about another couple of times. This is Pandemic by Long Dog Samplers. I am so super close I have about 1 more week of stitching, and I think I'll be done with the stitching. And then however long it will take me to do the back stitching. And that means, everyone, that I am on track for not only finishing it in 2021, but to finish it in October like I predicted. And this is after even I took 2 months off from when I got my wisdom teeth out and I was just not feeling it. I took some time off. So that means I would have stitched it in about 8 months. And I think that's pretty fantastic. It's kind of a lot. It's, I'm kind of on burnout, but I'm super excited to have it done. Not only just to have the piece completed, but to also free up that time to be able to work on these other WIPs, because I have so many things. You've seen all of the charts that I've purchased, and I really do want to stitch them all, and I have plans to stitch them all. I actually stopped myself from buying more charts last week because I know that I have so much here that I have to stitch. So I'm going to go ahead and get this done so that way I can get to stitching other things. So without further ado, I know you want to see it. I know you want to see how far did I get this week. All right, with the exception of just 6 stitches, I finished page 2. And I'll show you. All right, here's page 2. It goes to about here, so all the way up and down, kind of at the point of this. I'm missing just a few stitches over here. I ran out of floss on my strand and I haven't had any scraps yet, but I will fix it before I move. And as you can see, the way I put it in here, I don't have very much space. So I'm pretty much on page 1 at my stopping point before I have to move. Ooh, that's blown out some, isn't it? That's never done that before. I have to move my frame one last time, I believe. So I'm way up here on page 1, and then I've got almost all of this all the way to the top, and that's kind of the 50% mark of page 1. So I just have to move it over there. This is mirrored over here, and then there's a big bird, and then there's a bird here that I haven't finished, and then the border, and the border has some doodads on it, kind of, you know, like this or whatever, and then I'm done. And I very much believe that I can accomplish that in 1 week. So I have 3 more strands to put in for today, Sunday, October 10th. And then, so that means 48 more strands after today I have. And I really do believe that I can get it done. If not, I'm going to be super close. So I will only show this to you, I think, 2 more times. When I get all the stitching done, and then when I get all the back stitching done. Well, okay, let's say 3, because then when I get it framed, I don't know if I'll be able to show it in the frame of the camera while I'm filming, or if I'll be able to show you like while it's hanging up on the wall, because I'm determined that I'm going to try to get it framed quickly, and it will go on the wall like immediately when it comes home. But that won't be for a hot minute because I do have to finish the back stitching first. And I'm not going to say there's a ton of back stitching, but there's enough to probably keep me busy for a week or 2. So I'm not going to bore you with this. Like, if I get the stitching done in this next week, I will show you it again, but then I won't show it again until I get all of the back stitching done. That way you can take a break from it and I can take a break. But look at that. I mean, look at how big this is. And that's folded over there, and this has got some length here too. I mean, it's huge. This is on 28 count Monaco. Oh, it just came all unfolded, so might as well show you a quick glance of the stitching. All right. Isn't that exciting? I know that you guys have been cheering me on, and because this is huge. Okay, so despite the new starts, I still spun my wheel to find out what I'm going to work on at lunch, and it came up on this one right here, You Serious Clark. This one is from Etsy. I will post the information below. Thank you to Amy Loves Toads. Amy Loves Toads. That's the YouTube channel. I'm assuming that the woman's name is Amy. She showed this a couple of videos ago. She does like a monthly recap at the end of the month. So she usually films once a month. And as soon as I saw it on her video, I said to myself, I have to get that for so-and-so because they say that all the time and I need to stitch this for them. So this will be their Christmas gift. And the way that I do Christmas gifts, this is for a coworker. I don't think that any of my coworkers watch this, so there's no chance of me spoiling. This is for a coworker for Christmas. I need to stitch it up fast. And I just want to say that I just saw the timer on the video. I probably will not have time to put in the pictures of all of the things. So I will link everything below. And if you just click on the link and go to it, you'll see it. I promise. Just go to the description box. So without further ado, so I can wrap this up, this is You Serious Clark from Christmas Vacation. This is Uncle Eddie's hat and the quote. Amy Loves Toads did change the colors to make it more her style and to match the movie because Eddie's hat is brown, but I wanted to make this just like it was charted. I did change my red from what was charted just because I had a whole skein of extra 321. And then I used the 3371 that was charted for the words. So this has like some little doodads here, and in the white spaces there's little doodads. So I have to basically do the other ear flap, finish the quote, and put in the little doodads. I think I can get it done in a week. That would be great because then I'm clearing another bag and putting this away and getting, and then just watching for a finishing piece. I'm not sure because this is... it's either 18 or 20 count Aida. I can't really remember, but I am using 2 strands because I like the full look on this one. I was contemplating doing 1 strand, but then I accidentally started with 2. I'm like, ooh, I like it. Just take care of yourself, and until next Sunday, I hope that you get some stitch time in. I hope you get some craft time, and stay safe. Bye.